What is happening, everybody? MG here, MG Covers, bringing you a brand new sports handicapping video. Title of this video, Simplifying the Handicapping Process for College Football. Super educational, and I think you'll get a lot of value out of this. This will drastically improve your college football handicapping, making one simple adjustment. As always, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, greatly appreciate you subscribing. And everybody that has subbed here in the last couple of weeks, greatly appreciate the growth and working very diligently, and hopefully we'll get to our goal of 2,000 subs by the end of the year. Appreciate it. If you follow me on Instagram, give out a ton of content there as well. MG Covers is the screen name. MG Covers, covers spelled with a Z. Just gave out NFL totals for today, so if you jump over to Instagram, you'll be able to see that. All right, so let's dive into this video. What we're going to talk about today is simplifying the process for college football. What you're looking at now, this is my actual model for college football. Now, this is very important, what I'm discussing with you guys. Oftentimes, myself included, we overcomplicate the handicapping process. And as you know, I'm a huge advocate of creating as many, quote, plug-and-play models as possible, and or having a very, very, very simple process for handicapping college football. So what I'm going to show you is a very simple way where you can take the statistical property of home teams winning 80% of the time in college football and using that in conjunction with the model to create a very, very simple, effective, and profitable way to handicap football. Before we did, I do want to show you wagers. Today is October the 7th, 2023. October 8th, 2023. So this was from yesterday. Let me show you. Let's see here. Okay, this is what I actually played in college football. So I didn't do this yesterday, a combination of it, and I'll explain why a little bit later in the video. As always, closing line value, not as important as people make it out to be. Good day. We finished 4-3, cashed a really big dog there with Wyoming, ended up with $500 of profit, 20% ROI. So what I want to show you, what we're going to do is very simple. We're only going to play home teams and teams that have value via the model. That's simple. That's all we're going to do. It's going to eliminate a lot of games. So we'll go through this. The first game is Army. You can see there they are -7. Now, very important when you're handicapping, the way I focus on college football, you only want to play teams that are favored via my model or that you feel like can win. So a big misconception is you'll hear often, even professionals say, I don't think they'll win, but I think they'll cover. That's really poor handicapping, because a majority of the time a team that wins also covers. That's true it's 80% true in NFL and still very true in college football. So why put yourself in a deficit, meaning you should never play a team that you don't think is going to win, because by admitting they're not going to win, what are you doing? You're giving up points, and then it just becomes a matter of how many points you're going to give up. So you only want to play teams that you feel like are going to win based on your handicapping. So we're going to just look at home teams that are favored via my model or even, and we start out with Army -7. LSU, I played them, but they were not a home team. Let's scroll down to the next one here. I got this marked down on another sheet. Akron -5.5. And I'm just showing you this so you can see it. Louisiana Lafayette -10.5. Eastern Michigan -10. Texas A&M was -2. It's only going to be 8 plays. It's not that many. And that's another good point to make, is that this is so simple. This takes very little time to do. Very little time. Let's look at Michigan and Minnesota. We count that because it was even via my model. The big one there, Wyoming -8.5. And then finally Utah State -2 via my model. Now, let's go to this sheet here. So now you can see all the plays. Now we'll talk about wagering structure. You only want to take the points in college football when you're capturing at least the field goal and the 7. So generally what I do, and this is pretty much the same with NFL as well, I'll generally play it on the money line if it's less than 6.5 or less, and if it's more than that, I'll take the points. Meaning, like if you get a line of +10, you'll take the points, and you'll see that in this example. Otherwise, we're playing it on the money line. So Army -2.5, Louisiana Lafayette was -2, so we play that straight up, laying the points. Eastern Michigan -2.5. Akron was +4. I'm sorry, +4.5. So we play that on the money line at +160. Texas A&M, same deal. They were +2.5, so we play that on the money line at +119. Minnesota, we're getting 18.5 points, so we take the points there. Utah State was +3, so we'll take and play that on the money line at +123. Wyoming is +6, so we'll play them at +180. So basically, we are finished handicapping just that quick. Now, good point to make about handicapping. Here's part of the problem for a lot of people, and sometimes myself included, and this is something I've worked diligently on in the last year, is simplifying the process. So the reason why this is so effective is we're playing teams that have value via a proven model that we know is a really good model and has been profitable long term, and we're using a very strong statistical property of home teams that win 70% of the time. Now, that's not to mean that they cover 70%, they win. But understanding that statistical property, we also know it's difficult for the away team to, quote, win. Now, here's a problem people make. You might be asking, what about line movement? Well, here's the problem with line movement, and you might say, well, what about strength of schedule? What about injuries? What about all these other factors? A big mistake people make is that when you start to add in different layers of handicapping, you dilute the effectiveness of the most important aspect of what we're trying to accomplish, and we're trying to be profitable. So we're playing only home teams, and then if you put all these other factors in play, like line movement, injuries, strength of schedule, etc., you dilute the effectiveness of the fact that home teams win 70% of the time. Okay? For example, the line moved against Louisiana Lafayette. You'll see that they won. Line moved against Wyoming. It went down, but the last tick, it moved against them. So if we were following that, we would have eliminated both those games, and both those games won. So very simple way to do this. Not like zero stress and handicapping this way. And let's pull up the results here, and we'll go through this. All right, so Army, remember we're paying juice because we're playing a side, so we'd lose -110. Louisiana Lafayette won, so that would be +100. Eastern Michigan won convincingly, so that's +100. Now, very important, we lose Akron and Texas A&M, but like I've always said, another ancillary benefit of playing moneyline dogs, when you lose, you pay no juice. So those would simply be -100 plays. Minnesota lost, so that was -110. And then, of course, the big ones here, you would cash Utah State at +123, and you would cash Wyoming, the big one there, against Fresno at +180. So that totals out $83 or 0.83 units. Now, if you amortize that for the course of, I think, 13 weeks in college football season, you would be up 10.79 units. But here's, again, the other ancillary benefit to doing this. We spent very little time doing this. So in a matter of probably 10 to 15 minutes, you could go through the model, find all the home teams that are favored, and what I consider value is they're getting at least a 5-point differential between my line and a sportsbook line. That's step one. Step two is you simply figure out how you're going to wager. So if it's, if it's a spread where they're the favorite, then you're just going to lay the points. And then, of course, if it's a dog, we're going to play on the money line if it's less than 7. Otherwise, we take the points like Minnesota. And that's it. Very, very simple process. So, Again, if you're watching this video and you say, well, I don't have a model, again, what you can do to make it simple, just focus on the home teams. So that completely eliminates the away teams, and the only thing you're going to focus on are home teams. Or you could look at like maybe only playing home dogs. For example, via my model, home dogs, you would have had only, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 games to handicap. So it just quickly eliminates a lot of games that way. So anyway, hope this video helps. If you want access to these power rankings, where I was able to profit yesterday, $50 a month. That also gives you access to all my coaching videos. We have, I think, 253 coaching videos on the site, only available to clients. And if you want everything I just mentioned, in addition to all my plays, that's $100 a month. And then the best value, if you join for a year, it's like getting an associate's degree in sports handicapping, $499. If you paid it every single month, it'd be $1,200. So you save about $600. Link to join is in the description box. Like this video. Talk to you guys next time. Peace.